Are you thinking of moving to Roseville, California, and wondering if this is a good place to live and whether you'd like to live here or not? Hey, I'm Rose Gonzalez.
And I'm Steven Gonzalez with the Gonzalez Real Estate Team. In this video, we'll be talking about the pros and cons of living in Roseville.
So, Roseville is located in Placer County and is part of the Sacramento metro area with a population of about 135,000 people. It's the 43rd most populous city in California.
So let's start with the cons of Roseville.
Air pollution. According to a 2019 article by Roseville Today, the Roseville area is the fifth most polluted city in the United States. But before you decide not to move to Roseville, let us share with you some of the information on what this really means. Public transportation is actually one of the biggest reasons why there's a lot of air pollution. So that's not really just something in Roseville, right?
Not at all. That's pretty much a California statewide, even countrywide thing where the highly populated cities have higher pollution rates, and Roseville will be one of them. But if you go throughout most cities throughout California, they tend to have the same problem as well.
Sure. So the American Lung Cancer Association website actually has an article that talks about all the cities within California that have an F ozone rating. And I think it is LA, San Francisco, I think even San Luis Obispo. So they all have F ratings as well. So don't think that that's just in the Roseville or Sacramento area. It is because, there's a lot of air pollution all over the place. And then we also have the fires.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys live in California within the last 5 years or more, every single summer we hit a fire season now. This was a thing growing up very rarely. We'd see it every few years, and now we see it every year, and it tends to be getting worse. So during the summer times, you can't escape the pollution of the smoke of the fires in California.
The Caldor fire, the big one. So it was really smoky out in this area, but I also heard in the Bay Area and as well as the peninsula, they were getting smoke there too.
Yeah, so that's pretty much a California thing when it comes to pollution. Hopefully that's something that we could work towards in the future to make a cleaner, safer environment for not only us, but for our future kids, other generations.
Sure.
Okay, let's talk about traffic. Roseville is one of the fastest growing cities in the state, which leads to a significant increase in traffic congestion. But this is expected in any of the cities throughout California and faster growing cities as well. You're going to come across a growing population, and when they had the freeways built years ago, it didn't take into account this growing population. So you see this throughout California.
Well, so in Roseville, I think that the heavy congested areas are on the Highway 65, just a little past Stanford Ranch. And then we also have a little bit of traffic on the 80 as well. So there are back roads that we can take, like Pacific, to bypass the traffic.
Right.
But again, it's not out of the ordinary. It feels like the traffic here in Roseville is not as bad as if you were to drive on the 880 during commute hours.
Growing up in the Bay Area, I'm used to probably some of the worst traffic you'll find in California.
Sure.
And so moving out here is actually some of the lightest traffic I've experienced, but I could see how it still has its rush hours. And like you said, Stanford Ranch, Pleasant Grove, there might be a little bit of a backup, but so far we haven't come to any dead stop traffics for a long time.
The only traffic that I can think of in this area is off Highway 80 in Sacramento. So if you're going in and out of the Roseville area, you're going to hit Sacramento area from, I think, like Davis up to, maybe the early part of Roseville. Sure. There'll be traffic. So if you are traveling during commute hours, I would say 30 to 40 minutes in addition to that. And then also on holidays or weekends when people are driving through here to get through Reno and Lake Tahoe for vacation.
Sure.
Yeah.
But nothing out of the ordinary in my opinion.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. All right. Hot summers. So one of the reasons that it took us a while to really look into the Sacramento area is because every time people talk about Sacramento, I think hot and sweaty and just uncomfortable, right? So the average weather in the Roseville area is supposedly 94 degrees in the summertime. But it does get 105 to 108, and then in the wintertime, it's about 60-ish degrees.
Morning time, nighttime, it could get into the 30s, and of course, you have some days where it could get in the 20s, but that's rare. I see 30s. You're going to average from 30s and then it get around the 50s in the wintertime. We're now in the spring and our days are going from 75 to 80 at peak hours. And I think at night it's in the mid 50s.
Yeah, and it's like the comfortable
it's
weather.
Perfect springtime. Coming back to the summer though, it gets hot. But like traffic and like pollution, that's kind of a California thing, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're, coming from a city next to the ocean on the coast. Yeah, it's going to be cooler there, maybe higher in elevation. It's going to be cooler there as well. But Roseville, it does get...
I feel like it's a little bit comparable to where we lived in San Ramon. It's a little bit hotter, but it's kind of in the same ballpark as far as weather.
Well, I look at it as if you get over a certain temperature, you're probably going to stay indoors where it's AC or go outdoors and go, swimming. And here it's maybe 5-10 degrees warmer. But in San Ramon where we were, it was still so hot that I'm pretty much, if I could stay in AC, I will.
Yeah, so last summer, we were hitting, I think, close to 115. And then so we drove an hour out to South Lake Tahoe. I think it was Memorial Weekend, and there's way too many people on the beach. Yeah. So we drove down the Truckee River and found Boca Dam.
Yes.
And we were able to drive our car to the water. And how much cooler do you think it was?
I would say 20 to 30 degrees. So it was still, it was hot everywhere. Even up there, it was still in the mid 80s. Right. But it was a lot cooler.
Yeah, and then by the time we got back in the evening, the sun was going down, so it was tolerable to be outside or whatever we needed to do.
So it gets hot out there. Be prepared for that.
Yeah. So enough about the cons. Let's talk about the pros of living here in Roseville.
So let's talk about the prices in Roseville.
Despite the higher than U.S. average, Roseville offers surprisingly affordable living expenses as compared to other California cities. So unlike a lot of other cities around here, Roseville actually owns its utility company, which is typically 40% cheaper than PG&E rates. It's actually funny because I think it was one of the solar panel guys or someone who came over here, he says he lived in Roseville. And he said he pays something crazy like $25 or $30 a month for his utility bills. And even though people here have solar in Rockland, they're still seeing about $100 to $150 on their bill. So having your own utility company in Roseville definitely saves people a lot of money towards electricity.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about what I think a lot of people are curious about. What are the prices in Roseville when it comes to buying a home? It is higher than the national average, but compared to cities like San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, and the Greater Bay Area, it is cheaper.
So I think the average rent for the United States is about $1,100 a month. Here in Roseville, it is about $2,100 a month. So it's a little bit higher than the U.S. average. But if you compare rent to the Bay Area, you're looking at $2,500 to $3,000 a month for the same size unit, like our daughter.
Yes.
She pays, I think, $2,800 for a two-bedroom apartment. Yeah.
So let's keep it real. I mean, a lot of this is going to be, we're going to be comparing not only California, but to the Bay Area. Mm-hmm. We've seen a lot of people that are just getting priced out of the Bay Area, and where's a place to move that's still close to the Bay Area, still in California, beautiful, and a lower price in the Bay Area, and that is Roseville.
Yeah.
Roseville is a great choice.
Yeah. Even in real estate, the median sales price in the United States is $346,900. California is hitting $745,200, and I think it's supposed to increase to like $834,000. Yeah. The median home price here in Roseville is $642,878. So compared to the California cities, even San Diego, LA, it's still a lot more affordable. So if you're looking at the same size home in the Bay Area, you're probably looking at a median sales price of $1.1 million.
Let's just double it, pretty much.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. I think Los Angeles's median price is about $823,000, and then San Diego's at $842,000. So
it's a pretty lower cost. And how close are we from the Bay Area? It's not that far.
Right, right. So
I mean,
this is definitely another option that a lot of people are going to rather than moving out of California.
we have family in the Bay Area. We have our daughter, we have our grandson, and we go there like about once a week.
Yeah.
Prices are in gas are definitely higher right now. But that being said, we're able to go there once a week. And, you know, if you guys are thinking of possibly moving out in this area, because I know we went through this scenario, it's not that far. We could go to San Francisco in a day and come back. We go visit our family all the time. It's not that far. It's pretty good. And then, like we said, traffic is up there, but it's not that bad as well. So if you pick your commute right, you could be there and back in no time.
Sure, sure. Well, our pro number 3 is actually the proximity.
Yes.
So let's talk about, a lot of people think Roseville's out in the boonies or in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around. And actually, when we first moved here, we actually didn't know what was around, and we found a whole lot of things. So just even within Roseville, there's a Galleria, there is a
Which is shopping. It's the shopping mall. It's very nice. Yeah. I was blown away when I first saw that.
Yeah,
I was very happy with it.
And then Sacramento is only about 20-25 minutes away, which has a Sacramento International Airport. And then you could talk about the Sierras, because that's like your favorite.
Yeah, so one of my goals when coming out here was to just get closer with my son. And the way I wanted to do that was the summertime, get season passes to Boreal and take him mountain biking. And then you could go all the time. You know, you go all summer long.
And how far is that from?
And that's about an hour drive.
Okay.
That is right there. I mean, when it's snowing, you actually hit the snow from Roseville to maybe Auburn in 20 minutes. So leading to the snow, when it's wintertime, we have season passes to go snowboarding. We're able to go about once a week, which is typically a Sunday when he's out of school. And so I've been able to take him fishing. We could go up there, go hiking. We just got back from Lake Tahoe. So Lake Tahoe is about 2 hours away on the south side, about an hour and a half away on the north side. If you want to go to Reno, it's about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And you're really close to not only the Bay Area, but on the east side, you're close to the mountains as well.
Yeah, yeah. And just like he said, we just got back from Lake Tahoe. We just decided to go.
Yeah.
He went snowboarding with our son at Heavenly, and then I took my 3-year-old to downtown Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
We played indoor miniature golf. So there's so much stuff to do here. And, you know, you don't realize how close it is to everything. There's Folsom Lake, the American River.
Which we did a video on.
Oh, yeah.
About Folsom.
So make sure we'll put the link below on the video on things to do in Folsom. And you can see the American River and the Folsom Lake. It's beautiful out here.
It's very nice out there. So, and that kind of ties into what do you do when it's hot. These are the things you do. You like to go up in the mountains, beat the heat. Folsom Lake, American River, Sacramento River, take a trip up to the Bay Area to see some family friends. I mean, there's a lot to do out here.
Another thing about Roseville is that it's family oriented. Roseville is consistently ranked as a top suburbs in Sacramento area. Roseville's safe, it's clean, it's a very welcoming city with great schools. The city of Roseville is a lovely area for raising kids because there's a lot of other families here who have children as well. So you find a lot of like family-oriented activities or communities. This is also great for outdoor people. Like we mentioned, there's a bunch of hiking trails. There's Folsom. There's
there's hiking and bike trails throughout the whole city actually that we're still actually learning. When it comes to family-oriented and being able to raise kids, youth sports out here is on another level that I've experienced.
Yeah.
Schools are really good out here, safe out here. The holidays out here was fun, right? I mean, there's a neighborhood in Roseville specifically that a lot of people go to. And
I think it was like 4 or 5 blocks of like all the houses had lights.
That was the funnest time I've had.
And then remember the Jeeps? There was like a 5-6 Jeeps
There's
that
like
were
a car
decked
club
out in Christmas lights, touring the house neighborhood with lights. It was really fun.
So that's one thing that you'll notice out here is they take community very seriously. They pay attention to detail, and it's just Another thing you'll notice too is going into restaurants and stores, a lot of people are very personable and they'll talk to you and greet you and have conversations with you. So it doesn't seem like a slower vibe, but it does.
Yeah.
I feel like it's still plenty of population, there's plenty of people.
Sure.
People will take their time to talk to you and have a conversation with you. So that's a
well,
real
one of
pleasant
the
thing
things
about it.
that I like to share with people is when we first moved down in this area, I went to a store with Elijah, our 3-year-old, on Mother's Day.
Right.
And he was wearing a helmet, like a football helmet, one of our son's football helmet, and I kid you not, like 5 or 6 people stopped to say Happy Mother's Day to me. And, you know, I like to think it's because they're nice out here. And, of course, Elijah's cute.
Yeah.
But, you know, you just don't really see that in a lot of places. I don't even remember the last time people would even stop to say hi anywhere else.
Yeah, a lot of the places we've lived throughout California, it's a faster pace, and you get used to that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you tend to take things for granted more, I think, and you're just going to the next spot, and you miss a lot of the interaction with people, especially in the times we're in now.
Yeah.
You know, just with social media and just a lot of the other issues we've been experiencing recently. You just don't feel as close with your neighbor as you used to growing up.
Yeah.
But coming out here, you'll feel a different vibe. People will take the time to say hi to you, start a conversation. It's almost like, I got to go now. But, you know, you've got to be in the moment and just appreciate being able to get to know your neighbor and your community.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we hope you liked this video. If you have any more questions on Roseville or the surrounding area, make sure to comment below or send us a message and we'll be happy to help. And as always, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, make sure to give a little love to that subscribe button and we'll see you on the next video. Bye!